And I'll get going here. I apologize. I was outside and it said 7:59 and I said, I gotta go. All right, so here we are. So tonight is rapid fire. Let me get my bearings from me in just a second. Tonight is rapid fire. We're only taking questions. Number one, I appreciate everybody being here. I really appreciate it. Tonight is just dedicated to questions only. So everybody that is here, I really appreciate you all being here, but I won't be reading all the comments. If you do have any questions, make sure you put some question marks or exclamation points at the beginning and or end so I can read it a little bit better. And we will go as quickly as possible. Yesterday was kind of a short night, which was fine. Everybody's real busy during summer, so it typically slows down a little bit. I completely get that. And I do appreciate everybody that's being here, but tonight is just going to be for the questions, and we will go as quickly as possible. I would assume we're probably going to be a little short tonight as well, pretty fast, just because, again, it's a Monday, it's nice out, and there's a lot to do outside for all of us. So thank you for all being here, and obviously if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and that is why we're here. Again, thank you to Verna and Ed for the moderation on here. They do a great job, help me out behind the scenes as well. Sorry, got something in my throat. There we go. And then a bunch of leaders in the Facebook community are on here as well. So thank you all for doing your part. I appreciate it. Welcome everybody. Let's see. One day I'll ship to Canada. We did a long time ago, but that was before AI and COVID and all that, but we'll get back to it. We did ship to Canada before that. But before, well, all right, let me back up. So AI is here, no chance. COVID hit, they pretty much shut everything down. Before that, my vet that was close to me retired, and so I had kind of stopped about 9 months, a year before COVID hit. So we had shipped internationally quite a bit before that, but I was kind of looking for another vet that could do it because they have to come to the farm and do a bunch of paperwork and write on the eggs and inspect the eggs and all that. And then COVID hit, and I just really haven't looked into it, but I can't right now because of AI anyway. Let's see. I'm looking for any questions. I'm sorry. 85 Jim 19 says, what is the ideal turning interval in the incubator? I have a Brencia and can choose between 5 and 180 minutes. 6, 12, 18, 180 minutes would be fine. Every 3 hours. Hours that we built, our DIY, we do every 2 hours, and the GQF is every 3. So it really doesn't matter that much, but 2 to 3 hours is fine. Little Ridge Farm is on here. I don't see a lot of questions, so I'm going to actually talk for a minute. But if anybody does have questions, feel free to ask, and I will be happy to get those answered for you and help you on your quail journey. But I was on Little Ridge Farm's YouTube channel last week, maybe last Tuesday, I think. He introduced me to someone, and they are sending me something that I requested for QuailCon, and they're kind enough to send that to me. I'm just paying the shipping, so I really appreciate that. And when it comes in, we're going to do a separate video on it. I'm going to show it on here, but it's going to be really, really cool. Also, another update with QuailCon is the Bee Guy Supply. If you didn't watch our bee videos, you should, because I love the bees, and they're doing great. In fact, that was on my to-do list, and I didn't do it because it wasn't written down. I actually have to buy another not a deep, can't think of the word. Super. I have to buy another super because they are about 6 full in that thing. So they're doing absolutely amazing. Anyways, he contacted me and said that he's going to donate an entire hive for QuailCon for the raffle. I thought that was very generous of him as well. He will be here at an expert table so you can learn more about bees. So I'm very excited about that as well. And I think I saw another email from Linda, which is going to be an expert at a table here at QuailCon as well. I did not get to open the emails because I got called outside and then I was late. So I'll have to get to the emails, but a video about that is coming as well. So I'm very excited about that. Thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate it. Let's see. Road Dog Customs is who. Well, Road Dog Customs and Little Ridge Farm is who's making the thing for me. But I'll show it to you when it comes in. It's gonna be great. I have a lot of people asking how much I'll sell meat for and a dozen eggs for. What do you think? It's a good question. I typically don't like to answer that question. Let me explain why. Every market is different. And so I will explain it this way. And if you've been on here before, you know that this is the way I explain it. But let's just talk about eating eggs. So, for example, I sell eating eggs for, to the corporate accounts, I sell them for 50 cents, is what I do. But they buy a lot of eggs. So that's what I sell them for. Now, there is someone in, I believe, Washington, but it might be Oregon. It's somewhere on the West Coast. And they sell their eating eggs and balutes for the same price at 80 cents. And then I have someone, Indiana or Kentucky, I can't remember. Just not, a couple hours away from me. And they can't get more than 25 cents an egg, which they're fine with. But that's their market. So every market is a little bit different. So I don't want to give you a price and then you find out in 6 or 9 months that you've been underselling yourself, or you don't make it selling the product because you're overpriced. I personally think 50 cents is a good medium, but I think that you're going to have to do a little bit of research in your market and find out what people would pay. I wish I could give you more. I just think that if I did give you more, I think it might hurt you more than it would help. Whitney says, how's it looking for the jumbo eggs to go out soon? We're at 10 weeks since order and excited to get them here. If you're at 10 weeks, I would assume in the next 2, but you're more than welcome to text me with your order number and I can get you an exact ETA for you. That's not a problem at all. Jasmine's in the house. What age live quail do you find sells the best? Not chipped, just local. Trying to keep several in all ages for future sales, and it is a little exhausting. 3 weeks. That's what I would do. Either chicks or 3 weeks old. If you're selling local, I would sell a ton of chicks, and whatever chicks you don't sell, you can raise up to 3 weeks old. But at 3 weeks old is what I would sell them at. You can feather sex them, so you can either do breeder sets, you can do all hen sets, you can do all male sets, or you can do straight runs with the ones that are not feather sexable. But there's really no profit benefit of selling them after 3 weeks old. You're just hurting your margin pretty much. And obviously, day-old chicks are going to give you a much better margin because you can take them out of the incubator and sell them right away, which is fine, but I can't ship chicks because they're too heat dependent, so we sell them at 3 weeks old. But if they go past the 3 week mark and I haven't sold them, then we keep them for ourselves. Just because, it's not profitable. I'm taking a huge hit on the profit if I sell them after that age. There's a benefit to sell them at 3 weeks old because you can sex them that way, unless you're just selling the sex links. In that case, you could sell chicks at day olds. Robin says, hello, Zach, Ed, Vernon, everyone in the chat. So looking forward to QuailCon. Will Wynola Ranch have the quail cages there that they made special for QuailCon 2021. They will actually. They just confirmed that, and yeah, they said that they were gonna send. They were planning on sending the same amount, and I said, "Oh, yeah, you got to send more than that." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Yeah, we sold out um, of those cages, which were extremely affordable and really cool looking, and they're still not on the website. We sold out of the cages within like 30 minutes, or within like 2 hours. Yeah, within 2 hours of QuailCon, and then the troughs went within 30 minutes. I mean, I was like, dude, your table was empty after the first 4 hours. So they're sending a lot. It's going to be really cool. Gail said, you said on another video that you use a special mix egg layer for quail. Could you give that mix recipe? So we customize our feed, yes. In that there is a video. If you type in feed by Myshire Farm, there's going to be a video with a Klombach bag for the picture, and with that you can it'll give you the percentages that we have, and I show you the label for the ingredients and all that jazz. There's been a few people that's taken that video to like a feed mill and produced it themselves, or you can just take that screenshot of that label to the feed store or Tractor Supply and just match up the best you can. I give you ranges in there to look at, so that would probably help quite a bit. Deborah says, in my order of feather sexable quail, I received one tuxedo roux, and I was wondering if he breeds with the feather sexable hens, does that prevent their offspring from being feather sexable? Yes. Yep. So that was a gene that was dormant for a while, and it just popped up. But if you put that with feather sexable going forward, they will not be feather sexable that hatch out from that male. So either a separate cage for him or dinner, maybe. Raw dog food, another thought. It's not really a trade secret. I mean, we try to give you as much information as possible. I don't make it. We have Klombach make it for us. They have all the equipment, the availability, and the room to make all that. So we buy it in bulk. Now we've worked closely with Klombach and our local feed store, which is Brubaker, which got us in contact with Klombach. But as far as how they make it, I know bits and pieces. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I wouldn't be able to describe it to you in a good way. I read that one. I hatched a beautiful silver male along with some fab fees. Some of the fab fee are tannish, I would assume, and others more a steel gray color with lighter flecks. Yep, that completely makes sense. We put hetero and homo together in the cage so that you get a variety of the fab fees, so that would make perfect sense. I kind of like the tarnish color, the tarnish color. My wife likes the real steel gray color, but I like both. If I leave a silver male in with those, do I increase chances of more silver? Yes, absolutely. You put the silver male in there and you'll produce quite a bit more silver. Yeah. Heather says, I hatched out 26 of your feather sexable mix. I want to raise quail mostly for meat. Do I need to get another 2 from different line, or can the 2 in your batch work? You wouldn't have to. Yeah, you could put them together. Our eggs that we ship out have a possibility of having the same dad, but not the same mom, because we collect daily. So yeah, there's no issues with inbreeding those. You can do that for about 3 years if you ordered from us, and not have any issues at all. I got what you were saying, fab fee. Yep. I just got my first 320 from Mary Hatchery. Only 18 made. It's hard to ship in 102-degree weather. It's definitely. I got my first 30. I'm assuming you mean chicks, and yeah. Well, shipping Caternix chicks in any weather is difficult, which is why we don't do it. John says, well, during grow out, should males be separated from females? If so, when should a male be introduced? That's a great question. They can or they can't. Best practice is you separate them. So they're in the brooder all together. When you move them out of the brooder into the cages, preferably at 3 weeks old for most of the year, sometimes 4. But at 3 weeks, you separate the males from the females, and that will help. So the males will always become mature quicker than the females, but not having the males in there will be kind of a stress-free environment for the hens, and in that case they'll start producing a little bit sooner and be bigger for you. So those are the benefits of that. The downside is if it's an all-male cage, when they start getting active, mature, then they're going to start beating up on each other. In that case, you're going to want to cover the cage with a tarp, blanket, towel, something like that. Keep them in darkness. They'll still mature, they'll still grow, but they won't be aggressive towards each other. Let's see. Tanya's in the house. Have been very hot in Texas in the triple digits for over a month. We're getting rain today, the first in almost 2 months. There you go. If there was a best temperature for quail, what would it be? 60. And they have a lot of body heat, but the temperature really doesn't affect the quail very much. It can 1 or 2, but the majority of the quail really don't care about the temperature as much as they care about the weather. And as long as they can get out of the or they can get into the shade or out of the elements, they do fine all year long. Essentially, Kimberly says, I ordered last week but never got an order number. Do you send that when you put the eggs in the mail? No, it automatically sends an order number. It'll come from Jenna at myshirefarm.com. Check your spam, or you can email us. Sometimes people accidentally type in the email address incorrectly, and so the automatic emails will not go to your email. But also, more of what's going on is it might have went to spam for you. Beam Farm says, what age do you ship? 3 weeks old. Dan says, sorry, you've probably been asked this a million times, but how soon can I butcher from hatch? It's a good question, and there's not really the all-around great answer. I can tell you what I do, I can tell you what other people do, I can tell you what we did do, which I will. But it really depends on what you're wanting to do. So for years and years and years, we butchered at 10 weeks old, because at 10 weeks, they're fully mature. So that was just kind of what everybody did. Now, throughout the years, I've seen people that butcher as early as 6 weeks. I think that's a little early, but we did do our own research, and now we butcher at 8 weeks old. The wait between 8 and 10 weeks is just not very significant. And so instead of feeding them and housing them and spending time taking care of them, feeding and watering them, we butcher at 8 weeks. It's a good size, and we are losing a little bit of weight from that 8 to 10 week mark, but not very much, and it's not worth the cost in feed and time taking care of them. So we do it 8 weeks. 10 weeks is when they're fully mature. That's when you'll get the most weight out of them. And then you can just kind of decide what works best for you. Hopefully that helps. Another thing I wanted to mention, I'm trying to go as fast as possible because it is rapid fire tonight. Ask your questions. That's what I'm here for. I'd be happy to help. If I answer a question for you and you still didn't get the answer that you were hoping, or I didn't answer the question, please re-ask. I'm trying to catch myself as much as possible, but I've noticed sometimes that I've been doing this for so long that like step 1, 2, and 3 in my head are just automatics. Like I don't even think of those. And so I automatically go to like step 4. And then I go, after I answer the question, I go, oh, I didn't tell you the first 3 steps. Those are really important. So if you didn't get the answer that you were looking for, please ask again. But I am trying to explain through the process so that you understand the process and then make your own judgment call. What are the best quail names to raise for meat and eggs. Anything that's jumbo. Jumbo whites are going to look amazing butchered. Jumbo wilds are the largest. Jumbo Egyptians are big. Jumbo white wings are big. Jumbo sex links are big. So anything that has a jumbo name on it are best for meat. Anything that's standard size, so any of the colors, whether it's Fab Fee or Growl Fee or Growl Tux or Scarlet, Rosetta, Tibetan, whatever the case may be, anything that doesn't have the jumbo name attached to it are the best for eggs. Now they're all dual purpose. Sorry, I gotta take a drink. They're all dual purpose. So if you go with the standards, you're gonna get much more eggs at a better time frame, but they will be smaller. You go with the jumbos, you're going to get not a lot. You're going to get less production, less eggs, but you're going to have bigger product. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for quantity, then I would go with any of the standards. If you're looking for size, then obviously the jumbos, preferably the jumbo wilds or the jumbo whites. The jumbo whites are almost the same size of our wilds now, which is awesome. They are not feather sexable, but they're all white. So when you butcher them, they're very, very clean. Those little tiny black and brown feathers in the wilds don't get caught up in there. So it looks much more presentable. 123 LOL says, I ordered 50 jumbo wild eggs back in April 10th. I wonder if I should start getting ready for incubating. April 10th, May, June, 4, 8, 12. I would assume in the next 2 weeks. I would assume next week. You can text me your order number and I can get you an ETA within a day or two. I mean, I got to project, so I might be a day or two off, but it would be within those couple of days. But you're more than welcome to do that. My phone number and preferably text, because I don't check email very often. I'm just never inside unless I'm doing lives or I'm done for the day. But you can text me. My phone number is on our website. If text doesn't work, you can email me, and I promise I will get to it. Glenn says hello from Southeast Missouri. 41 eggs in the incubator 10th. Lockdown 25th. Hatch 14 on 26. 22 hatched today. 36 out of the 41. 1 pit but died. 2 never developed. Temp 100. Humidity 55. Should I wait for the last? They went in on the 10th. You're looking at 17. Oh, yeah. Keep them in for at least another 2 days. I don't know if you're going to be able to get any more to hatch. That's a fantastic hatch rate. But, yeah, I'd leave it in for maybe 2 more hours or 2 more days. There's only, let's see, what'd you say? 1 pipped and died, 2 never developed. So that's 3. So that's 3, 7, 3, 8, 39, 40. So you've got 2 left. I would probably bump that humidity up about 7%. And just let it ride for 48 hours and then let it go after that. Road Dog Customs in the house, welcome. They are working on a special project for me for QuailCon. I'm very excited about that, so thank you very much. Robert says, do jumbo eggs take longer to hatch? So many different opinions. The technical answer is yes, but you're talking a couple hours. Like, you're not talking days. You're talking a couple hours. They just need, they need more humidity because they have to soften the shell more. But, yeah, not very much. I mean, it is true that they will hatch a little bit later, but you're talking less than a half a day. So, and Walker says, what colors mix for silver? Silver is actually its own gene. So you can't put two different colors together and get silver. It's just a separate gene. But once you have it, you can make a lot of cool stuff. There's silver pharaohs, silver and golds, there's charcoal, there's lavender, there's Andalusian, there's this, there's that. It's a lot of cool stuff. Robin C says, could you show us at QuailCon how to vent sex? In person would help me greatly, and possibly others too. Absolutely, yeah. So we'll be in the barn. I'll be doing tours of the quail barn once every hour. And so anybody can come, just go through the tour. We're going to show the shipping process. I'm going to talk for a while. We're going to show the main barn. We're going to show the brooder room, answer any questions. And yeah, we can definitely look at the brooder system, look at how we do things, check out the cages, look and see how our setup is. We can vent sex, we can feather sex. Another thing I have not mentioned, and I probably shouldn't yet because I was going to do a video on it, but since all of you are so generous with your time and showing up tonight, I'll let you be the first to know. We are going to have 3 different colors available that's never been available before at QuailCon for eggs, chicks, and live quail for sale. And then we'll put them on the website after QuailCon. So you guys will be the first to see the 3 new colors. It's going to be awesome. If you were here last year, one of those new colors is the project that we were working on last QuailCon. So it takes a while for us to put colors together. This will be the last 3 colors we put out for a while. Currently, we're working on a new sex link and new jumbo sizes. So we kind of stopped with the colors for a while. We're going to work on size, and sex links. But we will have 3 new colors. It's going to be, they're gorgeous. But yeah, I will have no problem doing that in person. Jeremiah says, Wynola Ranch cage, our hatching time cages, pros and cons. It's a good question, and I don't feel comfortable answering that question, and I'll tell you why. I don't have a hatching time cage, so I can't give you the pros and cons of that. I love the Wynola Ranch cages. I don't have a lot of cons with them. We use them for all of our research. They're a little too small for our operation, but our operation's a little bit different from most everybody else's. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna move you a little bit, sorry. But we use them, we use them all year for our research and development. So I love the Wynola Ranch cages. I've heard good things about the hatching time cages. I just don't know a lot about them. So to get that answer, I would recommend going to Facebook and either going to Quail Call on Facebook, that's a group, or Newbie Quail Lovers. You can join those 2 groups, ask the question in there, and a lot of people that have the cages will be able to give you their experience. Patricia says, I have a Brado with 32 eggs on day 12. It rotates every 20 minutes. Is that too often? It's okay. It's fine. I think it's a little excessive. It's fine. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt anything. It's okay. If you can change it after this hatch, I probably would just, it's best to, so if you get eggs in the mail, you let them rest so that the air sac can stabilize, right? So if you let them rotate and then let them rest, that's more ideal. That's a better practice than every 20 minutes they're doing this. But it's not going to hurt anything either, so you don't even have to worry about it. It's fine. Nala the Boxer says, order placed. Can't wait to get an email. The email should have already been sent to you pretty quickly. And then we'll send you an email with the tracking number as soon as I can ship it out. Jax is in the house. Welcome. Jay Verson 81's in the house. Hi, Zach. My incubator temp went down to 97.5 for almost 24 hours. Do you think the eggs will be fine? The eggs will be okay. You've probably, because it was for 24 hours, you probably lost a few. You'll probably see blood rings in a few, but the majority are still going to be okay. So keep it going. Ellen's Edge says, I currently buy Klombach Flock Builder from Brewbakers in Farmersville. Will they sell the same feed you use? Well, that's where I get it from. They carry the starter grower in stock, but they don't do the customized layer feed. I'm hoping, this is a hope of mine, I'm hoping that they're going to be here at QuailCon. Hoping they come to QuailCon, see all the interest that everybody has in it, and then they start making it for shelves, and then they can start sending it to like Tractor Supply. That would be awesome. For you guys. Then you can just get that. But I just don't think that they think that the quail market is big enough to do that. Because I have to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to buy 5 pallets, so 5 tons of feed every month for them to make that for me. But hopefully, with all the interest at QuailCon, they're going to see it and they're going to go, you know what? We could do this. So we'll see. Marvin is in the house from Texas. Do you have a reports for customers from Texas of poor hatch rate from eggs shipped during July to September due to... I need to read that again, I'm sorry. Do you have reports from customers from Texas of poor hatch rates from eggs shipped during July, I'm assuming through September, due to triple-digit temperatures? No, not really. In fact, I just got 3 texts today, and 2 were in Texas, 1 was in New Mexico, and they got over a 70% hatch rate. 2 of them got a 70+% hatch rate. The other one got a 62% hatch rate. But I think that they were having some issues because they didn't hatch until like day 19. So I think their temp was a little bit off on that. But yeah, no. Temp can affect a little bit, but as long as you package well and the post office doesn't do more harm, I feel like they should do the Hippocratic Oath like doctors do. Like, I will not do harm. As long as they don't take 7 days to get there or 4 weeks to get there, usually it doesn't affect the eggs too much, unless they rough handle them. It's a crapshoot with the post office. Nice tip for reducing aggression. Never knew covering cage would help. Yep, absolutely. Glad we could help you. If Jay says, how long do you leave the chicks in an incubator? We take them out every 24 hours. So they first hatch out, and then 24 hours later, we'll open the incubator. We'll take all the dry chicks out. If they're still wet, we leave them in there. And then we do that every 24 hours. Dead Game Boxing says, I need quail that go broody. Any suggestions? More of a natural environment. Aviaries work. I don't think anyone's ever going to get an entire covey, like a flock of chickens. Quail are a covey. I don't think anyone's going to get an entire covey to go broody, but you can get 1 or 2 to go broody. Jax is in the house. Is 99 degrees too hot for a quail? Nope, not at all. And Walker says, any updates on, again, influenza update? Avian influenza update. It is getting better. I would rather give you an update when he shows up. He's supposed to be here 7, 8, 20, 30. So, what? 8, 9, 10, 11. I think it's the 13th. It's the Wednesday. Okay, so July 4th is Monday. So 5th, 6th is Wednesday. The week after that, 6 plus 7 is 13. So the 13th is when he's supposed to be here. And we'll do a video on that while he's here with any updates. You're welcome, Dan. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jax. I appreciate you. Tanya says, I put in AC to bring the temp down in the quail hut. I'm still having trouble getting the temp below 85, but they are still panting. Egg production is great, but they seem hot. They're okay. If you want to do the AC, that's completely fine. What I would do instead is take... so we're going to say you have 1 cage. If you have 1 cage, then take 4 water bottles put them in the freezer, and then every time you feed them and water them, take 2 out, put them in there, and then the next time take 2 out, put them in there, and take the other ones back, put them back in the freezer. They'll lean up against it, they'll kind of get the condensation from it, and that seems to help a lot. And they'll pant even in the winter. Jennifer says, does jumbo whites lay a white egg? Nope. The jumbo whites are just all the white feathers, but they lay the normal spotted brown egg. Jay Verson says, if I mix 2 silvers together, would I be able to get more silvers? Yeah, absolutely, you could. Yeah, absolutely. I would kind of recommend to put a silver male with a couple different females, like a wild and a gold and, you know, this, that, and the other, because then you're going to get different variations of silver, which is a lot more fun. But yeah, you could, absolutely. Linda says, I'm going to spend all my fun on eggs at QuailCon. There you go. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. Fun money. Yeah, I got what you were saying. We're going to have a lot of really cool stuff together. Split Arrow Farms has good videos on the hatching time cages and things. There you go. Thanks for sharing. Ellen's Edge says, I currently buy Klombach Flock Builder from Brubaker in Farmersville. Will they sell me the same feed you use? We did answer it, but in case you missed the question, they will use that feed. You can buy the starter grower that we use, but you can't buy the customized layer feed because they don't stock that. I customize it once a month and buy, I guess their big, how they make the feed is 5-ton cylinder barrel thing. So I have to buy a whole round for them to make it for me. Which is fine, because that's exactly how much we go through in a month, as far as the layer feed goes. Mary says, what do we need? What do we feed the birds if supplies run out? Very new. You know, so we customize our feed. The only reason we do that is because we consider our quail not to be ours, but our customers. So we give them the best possible things that we can possibly give them. Now, with that being said, for years and years and years, we used a regular turkey starter for the starter grower, and we used just an all-purpose flock layer feed, and they do fine on that. And that is always going to be around, so I wouldn't over stress on that. I mean, you can do certain things, but I mean, a general all-purpose layer feed and, you know, a high-protein starter, turkey starter, pheasant starter, game bird starter, whatever the case may be. The turkey starter and the all-purpose layer feed, that's not going anywhere no matter what. It's just way too much of demand. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Jeremiah says, me and my son Eli want to start a little side business. Tell me about when you started. You think it's a good idea? So I do have a playlist, and it is called Quail for Profit. And there are, I don't even know, 10, 12? I'm guessing. I don't know. There's some videos in that playlist. And it goes through a lot of that process. My biggest suggestion and recommendation is slow and steady. Get started, have some for yourself for a couple months, eat them, become a little bit more self-sufficient, grow a little bit, use what you need for yourself, and then start selling the rest, and then just let the quail business pay for itself. And then we also talk about how to get customers, where to get customers, different paths you can go, which is reptile or falconry or balut or eating or hatching or live chicks or live adults or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of videos in that playlist. And to be honest with you, a lot of that will give you information, but if you watch that playlist, you'll be able to come back on a live and you'll have better suited questions for your specific area that I could help you with. Beyond the Path says, do you only feed quail a certain amount per day, or do they always have food readily available? Always, always, always. They should always have feed and water available. Always, always, always. He's 16. I want to give him a hobby and a job. Yeah, I think it's great, especially the younger generation. Absolutely. Also, while you're watching that playlist, Quail for Profit, check out, type in the YouTube search bar 18 and Under Contest by Myshire Farm. Check that out, and he can enter that, and hopefully that would help him as well. Lawful Wax says it had Incubator go from 99.5 to over 105 in a 3-hour period. What are survival chances for the eggs now in lockdown? 105 is pretty high. I think it damaged some of the hatch. I think there's a possibility. I think there's a possibility that you can still hatch a decent amount out. I don't think you're going to get a great hatch. I think there's a possibility of getting a decent hatch, though. So let them ride, and good luck to you. Salvador Santiago's in the house. Welcome. Haven't seen you for a while. Western Heights Homestead's in the house. Welcome. Charles, hello. We are hoping for the best as well. Went from 60s to over 90 overnight. Yeah. I still think that you have a chance. Witch Doctor, welcome. Debbie at the She Shed Homestead is in the house. Zach, what could I get if I put silver over an autumn amber, jumbo Egyptian over Tibetan? It's a lot. So silver and autumn amber is going to give you a lot of different stuff. You can get silver and gold. You can get ruse silver. You can get, it also depends what's behind the silver gene, what kind of silver it is. So that's really hard to pick because, if you've got a silver pharaoh, then you've got a pharaoh with the silver gene. So you would get pharaoh, autumn amber, gold, and then a few odd silvers. If it's silver and gold with autumn amber, then you get silver, gold, autumn amber, and a few silvers. So it really depends. It's hard to say with just that silver. Jumbo Egyptian over Tibetan would obviously give you Egyptian, Tibetan, possibly wild, Rosetta. Scarlet. You could get scarlet eventually. So a lot of different colors out of it. Not a problem, Mary Green. Glad we could help you. Steven says, when can I expect jumbo eggs ordered 416? Thought you were printed out. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you're just next up. I don't remember. You can text me your order number, and we can get you an ETA for you. My phone number is on the website. Just text me the order number, and we can get you an ETA within a day or two of when it's going to be shipping. But I would assume soon. Jennifer says, what kind of incubator would you start out with? Well, I've got 3 different videos of different incubators that we bought and gave you our honest reviews on a playlist called Quail Products, Quail Review Products, Quail Product Reviews. Some combination of those words. There's 3 different videos. I did a video on the Nurturite 360. I did a video on the Incubator. I did a video on the Little Giant. I got 2 good results. One I did not. One was a wafer system. One was, the other 2 were not. I would watch those videos. I don't think you can, I'm not a big fan of the wafer system, but I think I would check those out and just see which one fits you. Another good aspect that I have not shared yet is we are almost caught up with eggs, which means starting next week, we are going to be starting the incubator reviews again. I've got the Farm Innovator and a Incubator. that's been purchased for a while now. We just haven't had the eggs, so those will be starting back up. So we'll have more previews and reviews for quail incubators or egg incubators coming up. Well, a couple weeks. I still have to do the whole process, but they're starting, so that's exciting. Beyond the Past says, do you have videos about the business side of things, such as LLC, red tape to sell, taxes, etc.? We talk about that a little bit in the Quail for Profit playlist. I am not an accountant, and I am not a lawyer. So I briefly talk about it, but when you're getting into that stuff, I highly recommend you go to someone that's educated and licensed and does that for a living. The LLC, the trademark, the LLC, the trademark, the taxes, all that stuff, the taxes I do now, but the LLC and the trademark and all that stuff that we did, we just went straight to an attorney. I think it cost us like $400 to do an LLC and have them file the paperwork for the trademark. But we did a couple different trademarks. Western Heights Homestead says, do you ever wet down your feed? We do not. It's heavy as it is. I don't think that's a bad idea. They'll definitely waste less, but we have so many that we don't do that. Burke's Ball Python is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Josh says, do you have to re-enter the 1800 contest every month? You do not, but you're more than welcome to try a different approach or different email. That's completely fine, but you don't have to. They are saved. Angel says, do you only sell whole, partially boned, or do you bother to break them down into breasts and legs? I'm debating if it would be worth it to do the extra butchering. We don't sell butchered quail anymore, but we did for years and years and years. And our experience is it's not worth the extra time. We did a lot of different things. I mean, we had heads on, we had heads off, we had plucked quail, we had skinned quail, we had, parted out quail, we did quail links, we did, a bunch of different stuff. And at the end of the day, the majority of your sales are going to come from just the entire quail. And so you're spending all this extra time, energy, and effort into something that's a minor part of your sales, and it wasn't worth it. But I'm not saying it's not worth it for you. It just did not work out for us. We still sold them, but it was just not, wasn't worth it to me. The time and effort and energy, it just wasn't worth it to me. Dwayne says, hi, Zach. Thanks for taking the time to teach and educate. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. You're not talking to me. Robert Davis recommends the Barado Incubator. There you go. Sina Renee Apartmentstead is in the house. I love the name. Good evening, Myshire, and everyone alive. Welcome. We're glad you're here. KM says, what would you suggest as a starter pack for a person who wants to play with breeding for colors and dilutes? I would recommend the Rare Mix. You'll get a bunch of different fun colors out of that. If you're going to play around with it all, what I would recommend is probably get a Rare Mix, as well as I'd probably just do the variety choice. I was debating between that and the feather sex pool, but I would probably do the variety choice, like 25 count, or however many you're going to order. So if you're going to order 50, I do 25 of the variety mix, which is kind of like the core colors, and then 25 count of the Rare Mix, which is all the fancy colors. And then you're going to have the feed gene and the roux gene to work with. You're going to have feather sex pool, non-feather sex pool. You have German pastel collection and SSCs, the silver collection, and Tibetans and Rosettas and Scarlet. You'll have a bunch of stuff that you can start playing with, and then you can kind of decide which Okay, well, these are just going to be in a mixed cage, and I'm going to focus on this color, or whatever the case may be. That would be my recommendation. Burke's Ball Python says, Zach, can you tell the genetics as a chick, or are there some instances where you have to wait? I'm going to take genetics as color. I'm assuming you're talking about the color of it, like what color it's going to be when it grows up. Sometimes it's really tricky. White hatches out yellow. So they're all yellow when they're hatched out. You'll never hatch out. Nope, we've actually hatched out all white, like a pure white quail from the pansy fees before. A few of them. I mean, there's the black marking, but majority of the time, all the white is yellow and then transitions into white. Okay, so with that being said, the jumbo whites will hatch out as a pretty much all yellow chick. There might not be a black dot, but other than that, it'll be all yellow. The golds will hatch out all yellow with a couple stripes down its back. The autumn amber will hatch out the same, but it's going to have a reddish tone. Those are really, really hard to tell apart, especially as day-old chicks. The pearls and the pansy fees are hard to differentiate. I mean, you can get an idea of what it's going to be, but sometimes it is really hard. But they grow so fast, pretty quick. Talk a little bit about sexing birds new and got to sex 16 birds at 3 weeks old. Can I do that? If they're feather sexable, you can. We do have a couple of videos on how to sex your quail. That would help. There's demonstrations and things like that. That would probably help you out a little bit more. But if they are feather sexable, then you can sex them out at 3 weeks old by their chest feathers. If they're not feather sexable, then you would have to wait between 6 to 8 weeks to vent sex them. If you have what you've got, you could go to a playlist on our YouTube channel, and it's called All About the Colors. So let's just say you have the jumbo browns, the wilds is what we call them. Then you can go to the All About the Colors playlist, find the video that says All About the Jumbo Wilds, and in that shows you what they look like and the difference between male and female and kind of how to do that. So that might help as well. Matthew's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Psycho Ward 360's in the house from Vegas. Welcome. Can't wait to finally meet you at QuailCon. Let's see. You're talking to Verna, not me. Angel says, thank you. I live in rural Mississippi and want to start out small, eggs and meat first before selling options. There you go. I think that's a great idea. Get your feet wet first. Ryan says, I had a white female hatch out from a batch of wilds. It's not an albino, no red eyes. What is it, and can I expect if I breed her? Most likely it's a jumbo white, and you can put that with the wilds, and eventually, you'll get whites, wilds, and eventually you'll get tuxedos. So the offspring will eventually look like a wild, but the chest will no longer be feather sexable. It'll be white. Beyond the Past says, Zach, do you buy eggs birds from anyone else to introduce new genes, or because you're so large you don't need to worry about that anymore? We do not. The last 3 times we tried to do that, we were... well, I'm not going to tell you who we bought them from. We were disappointed and did not use them. So yeah, we're large enough. We have a specific breeding program where we can go the next 50 years without introducing any new blood, and we still have no issues. But we have a lot of cages and very specific breeding instructions. Let's see. S.O. Swanson, welcome. Honkack says, for incubating for blue, do you have it on an egg turner? We do. That's a great question. We do turn them for the first 12 days. It just helps them develop a little bit better. We had talked about turning versus not turning, and I can tell you one thing. The balut process will show you the significant impact on turning eggs versus not turning. When you start canneling them, after a while, you'll definitely see that turning them is definitely a best practice. Burke's Ball Python says, gotcha, thank you, and yes, they grow quick. Yes, they do. Michael says, what gene lays a blue egg that looks like a robin egg? It's called the CE gene, the Celadon gene. And it's a gene that's introduced. It could be in any color, and it just changes the color of the egg. But it's called the Celadon. Mary says, getting ready for eggs. I read that I was supposed to put them pointy end down. Yep, that's correct. If you have a Nurturite 360, you won't be able to do that. You'll just put them on the side, on their sides. But yeah, most incubators you'll have you'll put pointy side down, and you store them pointy side down as well. But if you've got the Nurturite 360, that's not a big deal at all. You just put them on the side. GIS Herp says, monitoring from Birmingham, Alabama. I really appreciate you taking time to share knowledge with us. Can't read tonight, I'm sorry. Just getting in and went from 0 to 60 in 45 days, and many more to come. 4th barbecue will be quail. That is awesome. Congratulations. And sounds like you're off to the races, so good luck and congratulations. Jen D says, went on lockdown yesterday on day 15 at 2 p.m. And about 4 to 5 a.m. this morning one hatched. What should I do? How long before taking out? No activity with other eggs for over 12 hours. Go ahead and increase your humidity about 5%. Your temp is fine. It's still early, so I mean that one was just a way early developer. You really don't want to see them hatching until late tomorrow or Wednesday. So you're still okay. Don't overstress. Bump up the humidity 5%, and then you said 5. So tomorrow went into lockdown yesterday at 2 p.m. So they hatched out early. The one hatched out early this morning. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up before you go to work or whatever, just take the dry chick out, put them in there, give them some feed and water, and they'll start hatching pretty quick. I recommend taking all the dry ones out every 24 hours. Beyond the Past says, Zach, I appreciate you answering our questions. I really can't read tonight. Let's fix that. Zach, I appreciate you answering our questions. You've helped put us get our homestead on the map over the last year. I look forward to talking with you again on Rapid Fire in the future. Good night. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Wow, these are dirty. Well, I'm glad we could help, and I wish you all the best on your homestead, and thanks for being here. Jasmine says, night all, appreciate the mods and Zach for all the help to this community. Well, thank you for all you do as well. Jasmine is pretty much the creator and admin of Self-Sufficient Quail on Facebook. It's a new Facebook group we started this year, and it's fantastic. She does a great job. It's very entertaining, and engaging is the word I want to use. It's very engaging. It's a great site. I definitely check it out if you're on Facebook. And that is all the questions tonight. About an hour, so not too bad. I did try to go as quickly as possible, and we had a lot of questions tonight, so that was great. So everybody, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you all being here. I guess I don't need these anymore. Clean them for nothing. They'll be here next week. I appreciate all that you have done. Verna and Jasmine and S.O. Swanson, all the admins on the Facebook groups and moderators on here. Thank you very much. Thank you to all that have asked questions tonight and participated. I really appreciate it for you being here and supporting the channel. And hopefully we gave you some good information to think about to help you on your journey. And we've got a couple good videos that it's not going to be quail related. We're doing something different. We got a project going on that we're taking videos on. So those will be coming shortly, and still working some kinks out at QuailCon, but even greater stuff is going to happen that I haven't even mentioned yet. So make sure you check out the QuailCon tickets at our website, myshirefarm.com. Hopefully you can make it. I'd love to meet everybody. We've got some great speakers, and it's going to be a great time. And it's going to be really cool to hang out with like-minded people as well. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you all. And until next time, everybody, as always, stay safe.